We do have a quiz today, but before we take that quiz, I'd like to do a short review. The first thing I wanted to do is to tell you that it is a Canvas quiz, so you need to read your directions carefully. One part of the assessment is asking you to identify the first step in solving each equation. So what's the first thing you need to do in the transformation? Looking at my first problem, 4x minus 1 equals 15, I need to add 1 to both sides. Look at your second equation. 9x minus 5x plus 2 equals 26. Looking at this equation, I think I should combine like terms first. Think about the order in which we were using in order to isolate the variable. In the last one, I'm going to use that subtraction property of equality and subtract 4 on both sides. So again, looking at each question and deciding what it is you need to do first. Now, we spent some time talking about consecutive numbers, and what I wanted to do just now was to talk about the even and odds, which we didn't get an opportunity to discuss last time. We know that consecutives are n plus 1, n plus 2. But with even numbers, 2, 4, 6, it's every other number. So n would be my first number, and n plus 2 would be my second. When I write that in equation form, I would then simplify and get 2n plus 2 equals 94. I now start my transformation. I would subtract 2, isolating my variable. I would then divide by 2, and I see that I get n is equal to 46. Well, if I want n and then n plus 2 more, 48 would be the second number. I'll double check, and it works out, it's 94. So my two numbers are 46 and 48. Now, if I want 3 consecutive numbers, I would do the same type of thing. Again, if they're even, it would be n plus 2, and n plus 4. What if I asked you for odd numbers? Again, it would be the same setup as the even, because it would be 1, 3, 5. It would be every other number, n plus 2, and n plus 4. When I combine those like terms, I get 3n plus 6, and that has a sum of 39. We'd go ahead and subtract 6. I would then divide by 3, and I get n is equal to 11. So that must mean it's 11, 13, and 15. And there you just see the pattern of how to find the consecutive even and odds. Just a couple of quick multi-step equations. Recalling that when I look at a problem like this, the first transformation here was to collect my variables on one side, so I'll be subtracting x. It cancels out the variables, and I'm left with 2 numbers. Since these 2 numbers are not equal, I have a no solution. I see variables on both sides again in my second problem, but this time, before I move anything, I need to distribute. I now distribute, and I get negative 3x minus 24. Variables on both sides, we need to collect them. This time I have 6x minus 12 equals a negative 24. Go ahead and add 12. Leaving me with 6x is equal to negative 12. Lastly, divide by 6, and I get x is equal to negative 2. The last problems that I want to look at is what happens when there are fractions. And again, I could distribute a fraction if I wanted to, but some people like to clear the fraction. In this case, I would clear the fraction by multiplying both sides by 4, and then I'm left with 2x plus 1 is equal to 12. Well, let's continue the process. I get 2x is equal to 11. Lastly, divide by 2. And I get x is equal to 5 1/2, or x is equal to 5.5. This last one, the denominator here, the fraction, is compatible with this expression in the parentheses, so I'm just going to distribute it. And that leaves me with x minus 5 is equal to 30. I'll go ahead and add 5 to both sides. And you'll see that each problem is unique, and you can make a decision as to whether you want to clear the fraction or perhaps distribute it. Looks like we're ready for our quiz.